All right. Starting once again a minute early just to preemptively shut up the haters. That one time. Actually, it was more than one time. It was a couple of times when this one guy complained about me being late even though I was right on time. This is a meme now. Anything can become a meme. If it's stupid enough, I guess. Anyway. My glasses are a little dirty. If you'll excuse me for a second, or two, or three, or however many it takes. Yeah, bitch. There we go. Are you drunk? And there we go. I said don't freak out. Mr. Last Live, how dare you, AM Productions? I expect you to be here every single time. No, just kidding. Was at work and didn't get a notification until 30 minutes after it ended. Yeah, that's typical. That's a typical stupid nonsense with YouTube. YouTube sends me a notification that I am live within a couple minutes of starting the stream. But the people who are subscribed who may want to see those, they get the notifications after it's already happened. Thanks, YouTube. Appreciated. You're working perfectly. Yeah. At least it makes sure to let me know that I've just started streaming. Bunch of bullshit, I tell you. Oh, well. I just got a notification a minute into stream. Whoa. I don't know why some people get it in a timely fashion and others don't, but it's YouTube. It's a mystery. YouTube works in mysterious ways. What do you do with the money you get from streams? Save up. Hey, I gotta save quite a bit for the next move. And yeah. I mean, kind of a weird question overall. Like, what do you do with money? I don't know. Pay bills? Food? Live? Rent/mortgage? What do you do with money, right? I mean, it's kind of a strange question. Is it just me? Kind of weird. Anyway, I can definitely tell you that I'm not getting rich off of this. In case you're wondering. New window shading, icy blue for the winter season. You may have to adjust your color balance on your screen. This is green. Just saying. It's green, bruh. Do you have a morning star? Nope. They are prohibited in Canada for idiotic reasons. Because politicians watch too many action movies or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so anything that's a spiked ball on a chain is prohibited. If it's a smooth steel ball at the end of a chain, that's okay. Yeah. Politicians who have zero clue about weapons making laws about weapons. It's about as sensical as YouTube's algorithm. I cut my TV nearly in half by accident with the Xiphos. What are you doing? What you doing, bro? I mean, sounds kind of impressive, but if it's not intentional, then how does that even happen? It's not a Wii remote. Anyway. What's your opinion on nunchucks? I don't really have a strong opinion on them. They're cool and they seem reasonably effective, but that's about as far as it goes. In Germany, almost everything is prohibited. I mean, it's Germany. What do you expect? A bunch of, pencil pushing, red tape loving bureaucrats. Oh, hi, Great Lemon. I'm back. Yeah, I can tell. It's become citrusy in here. I lost membership, so apologies. Oh, you lost membership? Anyway, Canada banning airsoft guns now? What? What? Oh, right. I think I read the headline about that the new gun bill could potentially be interpreted to cover airsoft guns as real-looking replicas. Stupid. Really stupid. The hell is that sound? It's not the second time that I'm hearing that. It sounds almost like a dentist drill. Ugh. Not quite as shrieking high-pitched, but I guess somebody's cleaning or something. I don't know. There's always some noise going on in this stupid apartment block. Why are Scout's live streams so much fun to listen to? Honestly, I have no idea because they're kind of bullshit. They're spontaneous, not well thought out, rambly bullshit. I guess that can be entertaining to certain people. I mean, I'm glad. It's fun to do, and I'm glad that it's fun to listen to, but sometimes I do wonder why. Why is it even enjoyable? Anyway, is this the right place for ramblings of dubious value? You bet your value or lack thereof. No, that's mean. You bet your, I don't know, whatever you have, whatever you can spare. Too many have been indoctrinated into worshipping money. Chase money, more money is better. Yeah. Well, there's actual research on the topic. You do need a certain amount of money to be happy. I mean, in this system, that's what I'm talking about. Because if you don't have enough to pay your bills, if you don't have enough to pay for medical costs, etc., of course, that's going to make you unhappy and give you stress, etc. And if you can afford a nice home that feels like home and is comfortable to live in, yeah, of course, it's going to increase your life satisfaction. But above a certain point, you get to a certain amount of wealth, and beyond that, it's diminishing returns. Or, in fact, they found that above a certain level of wealth, it becomes stressful. So, yeah. But I think that level is like roughly middle class. So, yeah. In this system, it's still good to have a certain amount of money so you're able to thrive and don't have to be stressed out constantly. Stuff like that. Are you interested in weapons made by Native Americans too? Yes, definitely. Haven't done much about that so far, but that's mainly just because it's quite a lot of research time, because it's surprisingly hard to find good sources on that topic, at least so far. I haven't found too much, so it would take me quite a while to look into that, but interesting for sure. More money, more problems, maybe, but I would rather cry in my Mercedes than on a bus. That's fair enough, yeah. It's just, you can still have plenty of other problems. This idea that wealthy people have no problems because they have so much money, that's bullshit. They can still suffer from depression. They can still have all kinds of other issues. However, they generally have more means available to improve that, For example, even if it's something like depression, if you have more money to throw at therapists, that that can make quite a difference. So yeah. Anyway, why do you live in an apartment now? Did I miss something? Yeah, you missed a lot apparently. I made several videos about that, and the short story is that first house was a total money pit and just drove us to. I was going to say to financial ruin. No, it wasn't that dramatic, but it was just unsustainable long term, and we had to cut our losses. We still lost quite a bit on that. It was one of those fixer-uppers in disguise. The previous owner did a lot to cover up stuff, and the home inspector didn't find it, etc. So yeah, it wasn't viable. So yeah, now we're stuck in this stupid apartment for a year, but in August we're planning to move into another house, which should be way better than the first attempt. So yeah, see how it goes. Thanks, Gustav. If you take an honest look at humans, you realize that the meaning of life is to have the most stuff when you die. Money is a quick way to get stuff, so people get confused and think money is stuff. I mean, I would personally disagree that the meaning of life is to have the most stuff when you die, but plenty of people look at it that way. They like to accumulate things. And, I mean, personally, I used to be quite a bit more materialistic. I used to want a huge collection. I used to want all kinds of swords and guns and other stuff. These days, it actually somewhat bothers me more to have too much, because then I just realized the practical problems with that. If you have like a huge collection of swords, then like you also got to have the time to keep them all maintained. They're just going to lie around a lot of the time and collect dust, and what's the point? I mean, there is a point to collecting. A lot of people love to collect just for the sake of the collection. Like, gamers, for example, with an entire room full of retro games, which is cool. I like that. And I often think, every time I see that, I'm like, oh, damn, this would be nice. But then I realize, what for? It's just, seems like kind of a waste. And so now I'm trying to, I don't think I'll ever be able to do like a minimalist lifestyle, but I want to not minimize as such, but limit the amount of stuff that we have. Should have said some humans, but it wouldn't fit. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. For some people, that's all. I mean, if you look at some celebrities, rock stars and other celebrities and stuff, they have a lot of stuff, Hollywood actors. They have like huge mansions and, several cars and yachts and all kinds of stuff, and super expensive stuff, expensive clothing. Not all of them, of course. Some actually live pretty modestly. I mean, just look at Keanu Reeves. But some just think that accumulating stuff and just surrounding themselves with stuff, that makes them happy, and that's how they distinguish themselves from others, etc. That's not a good path to go down, in my opinion. Anyway, what kind of edge comes on LK Chen's swords? I was thinking about getting the new version of the Chuzian, single bevel, convex edge, etc. Let me try to remember. Is it? I think it's a flat on the Chuzian. It might actually be a convex grind. I can't quite remember if it's flat or convex. I think I want to say flat, but I can't remember for sure. And it's close to a single bevel. I think it has like a micro bevel at the end, but overall they cut quite well. Now I've heard from some people that they got dull blades. Hasn't happened to me. Well, with one exception, it happened to me with one sword in particular. But the others, the Jin swords that I got from them, they were fine. Anyway, thanks, Wing Zero. For me, collecting money would just be the end of having enough money to never work again. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. That makes sense. Although not working at all, that's probably not a good thing. Because if you become too complacent, you may just lose drive. You need something to do. Well, I guess some people could just party all the time or whatever, but you need something that you find fulfilling as well.
Now you acknowledged me, now I have to come over.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything.
Oh, don't you?
You don't have to do nothing.
That's a double negative.
Get out of here. You're a double negative. Let's see what else we got. Any idea on how one could possibly train safely with something like a Dane axe? Safely, with a lot of protective gear. Well, there is what are they? I think Black Armory they're called. They make rubber axe heads. I don't know how good they are, but yeah, there are some. There's stuff like that, rubber axe heads, and you can use those with appropriate protective gear. Probably still don't, wail on each other as hard as you can. It's kind of common sense, Not working, but choosing your own projects. Yeah, agreed. Work that you don't have to do is called a hobby. True, but you can also, you can have a job, like actual work that you're enthusiastic about, that you care about, and can also be part-time, etc. Stuff. One can buy expensive swords and fight with them, but don't have to worry about breaking them. Is that a source of happiness? Perhaps. Oh. Crunch. How have you been handling quarantine? Overall, pretty well, with the exception that it sucks to not be able to go to a gym now, because that's usually what I do to get control, regain control over my escalating weight. Although lately I've been pretty consistent with home workouts, it's just not quite the same. And of course, not being able to meet up with people. Did I mangle that sentence? No, my brain is telling me I mangled something about that sentence, but I'm not sure if I did. Anyway, so not being able to meet up with people to do things, that sucks. And not being able to really go anywhere. I used to not be much of a travel kind of guy, and I've never really done it much at all. But these days I'm becoming more interested in it. If you were in medieval/Renaissance times and you were walking through a bad part of town or a road with a lot of crime, would you carry a sword? And if so, what would it be, or any other weapon? Yeah, well, longsword, I think, is generally a good choice, because longsword is, for one, that's the sword that I'm most familiar with, and also it's versatile, it's easy to carry, etc. So There's a reason why they were popular for that purpose. Thanks for becoming a member, William Hill. Appreciate it. Been making my own from checkered plate steel. Your own? You're probably talking to somebody else. I don't know what that's about. What's going on? Just got here. Looks like you're about to cry. What? What are you talking about? You, my friend, are a weirdo. No, not necessarily a weirdo. Just some people aren't very good at reading others. Like, for example, the video that I made about the what's it called again? The Stinger, the self-defense whip. Some people were like, oh, there's some BDSM shit going on or whatever. Like there were a number of comments insinuating that a certain someone was having fun with that, which is really like if you're good at reading facial expressions, then you know that no, there's nothing fun about that for either of us. What we got? Wow, that was unexpected. What was unexpected? Thoughts on the game? For Honor, I don't really care. Like I made a video about it, and since then I haven't really touched the game, so I don't know. I got bored of it pretty quickly. I can't really tell you why. I gotta say, not particularly. Sometimes it's just what happens, So say I want to travel to Norway in Norwegian. Jeg vil reise til Norge. I probably have a pretty bad accent because I haven't spoken it in many years at this point, so sue me. Are you thinking about buying any more armor? Not currently, no. Have you ever considered making music? No, I'm a musical illiterate. That's how I put it. It's not really something I am good at. I might even be tone deaf, I don't know. Maybe. Pretty confused by some parts of the chat here. Welcome to the club. That happens to me every time. The chat is often confusing, yes. Some strange folks around sometimes. Do you maintain your beard with oil and such? Yes, I do. That's how you prevent itching. I didn't know you did streams. Whoa. I've been streaming a lot lately, actually. But, yeah. At weird times, so... Not surprising that not everybody catches them. Not that you have to by any means. These are, like I said earlier in the stream, kind of random bullshit, so... That's fine. Have you considered taking up archery? I used to, before I got hit by a car and my right shoulder got fucked up, and since then I haven't really been able to draw bows properly, so yeah. The worst thing you can do is be like everyone else, right? If you're deliberately trying to be like everyone else, then yeah, you have a problem. if you're just a chronic hipster who needs to be different in everything from everybody else, no matter if it makes sense or not, well, I shouldn't say if it makes sense or not, but out of principle, if you're just trying to be different for the sake of being different, to be special, then no. But yeah, conformism, just because everybody else does it, you got to do the same. That's bullshit. Sword versus spear versus axe. A la energy, sci-fi tech. I'm not sure that really changes too much. I mean, maybe. If it's energy stuff, it might be weightless, possibly. The blade itself, which would eliminate a big difference between a sword and an axe. Because with a sword and an axe, the balance is flipped around, basically. The axe has all the mass on top, the sword has all the mass at the bottom, which makes huge differences for how they handle. The axe is not as agile, but it hits a lot harder. With if that was energy stuff, maybe that wouldn't really be as much of a difference. Who knows? In that case, if you're talking energy weapons that burn or cut at a touch, I would really be worried about my hands with a sword, with an axe and a spear even as well. Although at least there you have to reach. But in that case, a guard might be useful, unless you can't make the guard of the same material. If it wouldn't protect you, of course, there's no point. But yeah, depends on the setting and how they function, etc. Anyway, thank you, Alcazar and Sledgehammer. What do you think of pistol? What do you think of piss? That's the real question. What do you think of piss? Pistol crossbows, or one-hand ones. Well, a single-handed crossbow is a pistol crossbow, right? Got one 80-pound one, and it's sick. I do like them overall. They're kind of anemic compared to full-sized crossbows because the prods are so much smaller. The draw length or power stroke is so much shorter, so they are way weaker than full-size crossbows, to the point where they wouldn't really do a whole lot against, I mean, definitely not armor, but even some clothing, some sturdy clothing. Anyway, I like them. They're just underpowered comparatively. What was your worst catastrophic blade failure? Not really blade as such. The worst catastrophic failure was the first version of the panabas from traditional Filipino weapons that just broke out of the handle. But it was the handle that failed, really, and the fact that it had a short, stubby tang. It wasn't actually a blade failure. As far as blade failure as such is concerned, I really haven't had a lot of catastrophic failures. I think the worst is probably, aside from a certain 7.62x39 incident, I think aside from that, the worst is probably the Principe, actually. Wait, or was it... yeah, Scott is pointing out any axe you handed to Eric. Was it... No, I forgot, was a question about swords? Or yeah, blade failure. Okay, in that case, it wasn't a blade failure. Every time Eric murdered an axe, it was actually the haft that failed and not the blade. So technically, doesn't count. Nothing traditional I've seen is ever true full tang. People in the past didn't seem to like them. Oh, I don't know. There's plenty of stuff with full tang. Messers have a full tang. Really just about, any European sword, really. Unless by full tang you mean something else. I don't know. But plenty of stuff, really. Greek Copus or Roman Gladius? Spartan or Roman? Why? I like both. I think if I had to choose, I would probably go for the Copus. It's a bit longer than the Gladius usually, so you have a bit more reach, I mean, and you can definitely deliver more powerful cuts with it. Not that you can cut with a Gladius, but it's not as good at it as a Copus. And of course, a Copus isn't as good at thrusting, but I think that's probably what I would prefer. No, I guess a messer is, but like a longsword isn't. I'm not sure how you define full tang then, because on a longsword, the tang still goes all the way through to the pommel, so I would call that a full tang. It's definitely not a partial tang. Messer or a falchion? Kind of have to say messer. I like both, again, but if I had to pick just one, it would be the messer. I really like the guard on it. The grip too, but there's a lot of things I like about it. I think it means full width tang. Well, a full width tang is really rather unusual. They almost always become narrower. I think he means the tang is wide enough to be visible from the sides. That's really more about what type of hilt, what type of handle you do. If you can do a hidden tang, like you can fit two, you can even fit two handle scales in such a way that they meet in the middle, just like on the Albion Knecht, the tang isn't visible on it, but it's still a handle scale or slab construction. So, yeah, I mean, there are some swords that don't, where the tang isn't a whole lot narrower than the blade. Like, for example, like on a katana, like sometimes it's not a huge difference, but even there, the tang is narrower than the blade. So, no, I would definitely say full tang as such is pretty much standard. Thank you, Henning. Thanks for all the great videos and content. You're welcome, and thank you very much for the generous donation. I think 500 crowns is like $60, $70. Yeah, that's very generous. So appreciate it. Thank you. If not more. No, I'm curious, of course. Because I still have a rough, I mean, it's been a long time since I checked the exchange rates. It was 75 even. Nice. Thoughts on the Worksharp's new precision adjust knife sharpener? In one of the pictures, a guy is sharpening a kitchen knife. Could you sharpen a sword in sections with it? They have a new sharpener? I didn't actually know that. Worksharp. What do we have here? Do you know what it's called? All right, precision. Well, they call everything precision, don't they? Oh, there. Okay, yeah. Precision adjust. That is the word, or that is the name. All right. No, that's too small. That is too small. The problem is with a sword, you can't just have a single clamp because you have so much weight hanging off the thing, it would just tip it. So you need two clamps. Single clamp design can't really be used with a sword. Ever seen the platinum power sword from DQ7? What is DQ7? 11. What is DQ11? Dairy Queen 11? I don't know. Platinum power sword. So the short answer is I have not seen it, clearly. Oh, Dragon Quest. Of course. Of course DQ is Dragon Quest. Anyway, let's see. Is there an actual picture somewhere? For some reason, I'm not getting a single picture. So, I can't tell you, sorry. Haven't been paid yet, just wait for more hundies next time. Oh, chill out, AM Productions. I know you're very generous, but please don't strain your finances. You don't need to throw that much at my dumb ass. It's appreciated, but you don't need to. I can watch all your stuff for free and enjoy it very much. That's a fair deal. Well, thank you. Are you standing up? Yes. I've been sitting too much. I recorded a video earlier today, and I've been doing a lot of editing, so it's a lot of just sitting in front of the computer. So, and I have this standing desk converter, and I just cranked it up, and now I'm standing in front of it for a little bit just to mix it up. Because just sitting all the time is not healthy. And when I'm standing, I can kind of move around a little bit, swing them hips and stuff. So is good. Has a gunblade like Squall's ever been made? On a smaller scale, yes, actually. In history, there have been pistols and other firearms with in some cases it's really actually a blade that's, I'm assuming, welded to the barrel, so it's right underneath, so it's kind of forms a unit with the barrel, and it is a thing, just not that freaking huge. And they were rare overall. Flexing about a standing desk. I see how it is. I don't even have a desk. Are you just sitting on the floor or something? Yeah, I'm flexing with my standing desks. You're naked below the camera view, right? No, I am actually wearing pants, believe it or not. I'm not really a blade guy, but your vids make me want to get a longsword. Excellent. Spreading the love. No OnlyFans. Gotta disappoint you. It's not a thing. I said I'm not naked. I said I am wearing pants. I can't prove it because I'd have to jump up with it. Can I pull them high enough? Yeah, here, see? Pants, bitch. Everything needs to be proven. The internet is skeptical. Except with the things that you should be skeptical about, then it's all, yeah. As long as it fits your bias, you'll accept anything. Stupid humans. Anyway, say hello to Brazil. Well, hello to Brazil. And thank you, Lorian, if I pronounced that correctly. I'm stuck on whether or not to get a katana first or a longsword. I'll get both eventually. In that case, you might as well flip a coin, you know? Just do the two-face thing. One potential suggestion, I would not recommend going for a cheap longsword, because a lot of cheapo longswords on the market are no good, quite frankly. Ideally, you'd save up for an Albion. In fact, I'd recommend that you rather, instead of getting a katana and a longsword, I'd rather suggest you get an Albion longsword or just a more expensive katana, because you're probably going to enjoy the one high-end sword more than you would two budget or even mid-range swords, potentially. That's just my opinion. And yeah, definitely stay away from the cheapo stuff. Like the Ronin longswords are generally pretty good, so you can go with that. But and possibly Baylor arms. I've heard some people said that they had trouble with the blades, but overall they seem well designed. Anyway, so I would say in general, a cheap katana can be better than a cheap longsword, I would say, because so many manufacturers crank out katanas and have been for a long time that they've kind of figured out how to cut corners in a reasonably functional way. So you can still get something that's okay. Now, of course, it's not going to be as good as a $500 katana, you know, or even 1,000, but yeah. No, I'm standing in the kitchen while having a cigarette, and I'm not wearing pants. Okay, OnlyFans, here I come, if you like fat guys. Well, I guess you gotta give the chat your OnlyFans link then, so they can check you out. Have you seen Gangs of New York? Awesome weapons. I think I have, but quite a while ago. Quite a few years ago. I can't really... Oh, was it Gangs of New York? I think it was. Wasn't there this one guy called the Butcher or whatever who was fighting with a hatchet? I think, but I remember very, very little of that. Katanas are so bad against anyone who isn't a peasant in linen. No, don't buy into the propaganda. It may not be the bestest sword ever, but it's also not useless. That's the counter narrative, which is just as wrong. It is still an effective... Holy shit! James Goodnight just put in $100 donation. Holy fluff balls. Damn, that is crazy generous. Thank you. You, my friend, are insane. But the good kind of insane, I guess. Anyway, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi, and I hope you have a good day. Well, you just made my day, I guess. So that is awesome. Damn, yo. You played Ghost of Tsushima? Nope, I don't have the game. What is the weight of a medieval longsword? Typically between 1.1 and 1.8 kilograms. Depends on the type. Is any sword good against armor? Yes, there were swords specifically made to be used against armor, just not in the way you may imagine. It's the very strongly tapered longswords that, you know, they have quite a narrow blade to begin with, and then they taper to kind of a needle point, and the purpose of those is to thrust them into the gaps of the armor, like under the armpits, for example, neck, groin, you know, regions where you can't put rigid plate because you need to be able to move. And so that's one, and also you can grip the blade and strike with the guard or pommel. Use kind of as an improvised bludgeon, polearm sort of deal. Yeah. Don't forget about the time I donated about $250 doing that live with your mods. I am the sponsor. Hey, I didn't... Just because I appreciate the $100 donation doesn't devalue anything you have contributed. And Productions, don't be jealous now. No jealousy here. You're all equally appreciated, all right? I watched the videos for a few years, and thanks to you, I tried to become a swordsman and fencer. I will compete in the next Olympics in the name of Brazil. Well, that's great to know. Whenever that happens, right? I mean, frickin' plague lockdowns and all. I'm just gonna, don't mind me if I wiggle around a little bit. I'm just gonna stand on one leg for a bit and kind of do like partial pistol squats. Very partial. Yep. I'm not just doing this for laughs at this point. Yeah, I know. It's kind of pricey laughs, right? Like it all adds up. Anyway. Your money, your choice. Ladies, you're both pretty. Yeah, exactly. There's enough for everyone to go around, you know? Yeah. Have you ever been in Europe? That's a funny question to me. I only grew up in Europe, but yeah, I might have been there at some point. But yeah, not everybody can know that. What? No, that question is too trivial. What do you think about bronze swords? I like them. I mean, I've made an entire video about bronze. I mean, bronze swords particularly. So that should tell you something about what I think. And in fact, I talked a lot about those in that video, so I would recommend looking that up. I've also reviewed several bronze swords. You can look for those as well. I quite like the Khopesh in particular. What is the best sword for getting a girlfriend? Should I say the one in your pants? But otherwise, you know what? You got to get yourself a rapier. Maybe I should have said small sword just to avoid that, how that word sounds. Anyway, fancy dress sword, basically. Have you seen Swords comics? It's pretty good. Nope, I haven't. What are your thoughts on 18th and 19th century cavalry sabers? I've never been really interested in them. It's not my thing, personally. Nothing particularly wrong with them, but just they don't really appeal to me a whole lot. I mean, they're all right, but I'm not particularly interested. What about a composite sword, but the edge is hardened, steep? That must be autocorrect or something. That can be replaced. Well, that's basically already done with differential hardening. I don't think you really need to have an insert. I mean, I guess it could be, you could do it kind of like a utility knife, just being able to replace the blades when they get dull, but that's wasteful. So in theory you could, but then you're adding additional points of potential failure. Basically, if you connect it with rivets or in any other removable way, that removable connection is going to be a lot weaker than if the blade is made of one piece. So you're risking that it may fall apart or get damaged at some point in a fight, and you don't really get that much benefit out of it. Like, you're better off just differentially hardening the blade so you get a harder edge and a softer spine or center of the blade, so that you get better edge retention. So makes more sense to me. A mix between a sorcerer and a warlock is a war sock. Would it be a war sork? Or maybe it would be a sorklock. Yeah. I think it would be a sorklock. Anyway, thanks, Void Now. Worst sock is just filling your sock full of quarters and going into battle. Sounds like fun. Kinda. I mean, the old sock filled with whatever, be it quarters or rocks or marbles or whatever stuff. It's, reasonably effective, but not enough for a battlefield. It may work in prison, but otherwise. Did somebody just call me Shad? Dude, wrong person. Hope Devin didn't bust your butt too hard after yesterday. No. You forget the butt workout was not supposed to happen on my end. Anyway, no, I just forgot. 5 is the usual workout time, but I just forgot and just started streaming too late. So, but yeah, no problem there. Is there such a thing, to your knowledge, as a polearm mace? I'm trying to remember if I've actually seen anything. Usually polearms, it's usually hammers rather than maces. But yeah. Not that maybe there are a few examples, but if they existed, then they weren't common, at least in Europe. I meant to say Skall, sorry. Don't worry. I just wasn't sure if it was intentional or something, because sometimes people troll. It's all good. Don't worry. Another 50, because why not? Damn, James. You're just doing this number, aren't you? You're flexing on the rest of the chat. But yeah, I do appreciate it. Thank you. Skallagrim. I think I've just made a ship name. No. Cut it out. No shipping. Okay, do video on anti-cavalry weapons and strategies. It's kind of outside of my specialization. I don't really know anything about either fighting on horseback or dealing with someone on horseback. So I think it's better if you ask someone else. Imagine someone doing a Mordhau with its Zweihander. Well, fortunately, the blade is too wide for that, I think, to really... Well, it depends. It would be pretty crazy. Oh, Skull knows what shipping is. Yeah, I'm on the internet. You can't really get away from it. Whether or not you want to know about it, the internet will let you know. It's like a lot of other things that I really didn't need to know. I mean, this one's harmless, but there are plenty of things on the internet that I really didn't want to know. What is the most beautiful sword in your opinion? I think the Swiss saber is a likely candidate for that, if not winner. I think those look great. The only ship we need is the Nagelfar. Ooh. You're trying to bring about Ragnarok, huh? Not safe. Your video on food addiction hit a bit too close to home for me. Yeah, a number of people said that. Decided to lose weight. Any advice from Do Sports? I wish I had really good advice for you. Too spooky for me. But if you're dealing with food addiction, then quite frankly, as you can tell, I don't really know how to manage it, because it keeps happening. Like, for a time, I get my shit together and I lose a lot of weight, but I can never maintain it long term. It always goes downhill again, and I put back a lot of weight, put it back on, I mean. And yeah, I wish I could tell you. In theory, it's simple. You eat less, or particularly also you eat healthier. Like, for example, you can eat as many vegetables as you want, basically. Veggies out the ass. But that's pretty simple. It's easy. That's a simple part. It's not easy, though. Just eat better and exercise more. Yeah, it's as simple as it is. But if you're dealing with food addiction, it's not that simple at all, because your brain will literally sabotage you and refuse to obey. Like the urge sometimes becomes just too overwhelming. And do I know how to handle it? No, frankly, I don't. I wish I did. Keep trying is the best I can say, really. It's said that coca leaves to completely stop hunger if eaten. Yeah, same can be said about amphetamines and crack, and there are ways to destroy your appetite. It's usually involving substances with undesirable side effects. You're great. Don't stop loving yourself. For that, I would have to start loving myself first, and that hasn't happened yet. So I don't know what to do with that. What do you think of Condor's recent entry into sword making? It's not that recent, is it? I mean, they've had swords, or at least sword-like machetes for a while, quite a few years, really. But I know that they've made a Kriegsmesser, for example. I don't know what I think about it. It looks, proportions look a little off, but I can't really, I don't know. Can't tell you for sure. Tapeworm will work too, but not recommended. Yeah, I know. Have you accepted yourself? Not really. Not fully. Thought about having stomach reduction surgery? No, definitely not. Because that's not the problem. Like, my brain will continuously rage. There's always a background process that's like, more food when. Like, I can literally just have eaten so much that my stomach hurts, my brain is still going to be like, what's next? You're going to eat some more, right? Where is it? What's going on? That's not, no. That's unfortunately not the issue. It's not that easy. Whenever you think about consuming huge amounts of food, focus on what you already achieved in the fight to lose weight and try starting from there. Doesn't help. I can think about that as much as I want. At the time, the urge is so overwhelming, it doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. Like I can, on a rational level, I can think I shouldn't be doing this. I want to, I want to become slim again. Doesn't matter. Just motivationally, it has no driving force. The only driving force is get that fucking tasty junk. That's the problem. Anyway, more food when? T-shirts when? No, I'm not going to do that. Going to the fridge and taking anything out and eating it is muscle memory at this point. You can realize it's wrong, but food equals good, so you just eat. Yeah, kind of. Just do a shitload of cardio and you can eat whatever you want. No, that's not how it works. The more I exercise, the more I want to eat. Yeah, the more, it puts my hunger into overdrive and yeah. Anyway, can we not talk about that? Can we just not talk about my food addiction? It's not a fun topic. Let's talk about something fun, huh? Like just no. I have the same issue. I can eat a Thanksgiving dinner and be hungry again in 15 minutes. Went to the gym, which helped, but then the Kung flu happened. Dude, Kung flu. That is a slightly racist term. Just saying. Let me just find other comments here that are not about food. Do you still own your custom helmet? Yes, I do. Aside from a Chris, have you ever handled any other sword with a flamberge blade? No, I have not. I would like to. Let's talk about unicorns. In other words, honest politicians. What's your opinion on dual-wielding swords? I think I've covered that topic plenty in videos, so I would recommend looking it up. In the search, you should find quite a bit, I think. Do you still have a claymore? Nope. At the moment, I do not. Are you playing any video games at the moment? Yes, Nightmare Reaper. It's like a Doom-style classic first-person shooter, and they did a lot of interesting stuff with that. Quite like the weapons and being able to unlock skills. Neat. If you were forced to fight a knight and can't run away but are given a choice of weapon, what do you choose? AK-47? P90? Shotgun? Something like that. Wait. If you had to fight Mike Tyson and each year of his life represented $1 million, e.g. 15 years old, 15 million, how old would you choose? How about 80? How about I wait until he's 80 and can barely fight anymore? Then I get more money and it's easier. Or even if he's, 90-year-old Mike Tyson, however old he gets. I'd pick 1 year before he dies, and then I get a ton of money, and it's probably not going to be, okay, it's still Mike Tyson, so he still probably shouldn't underestimate him even then, but certainly easier than before, I would think. Mike would drink from your skull even at 80. Yeah, you know what? It's probably fair. I mean, at the same time, you could fight him when he's 5 years old, and you would still get 5 million, right? So I guess that's a safe bet. Or 10-year-old. I think 10-year-old Mike Tyson you could still take. So that's still a lot of money, but yeah. Yeah, he's probably still not ready to to mess around with, even at that age. Any knife or weapon reviews coming soon? Yes, the review of the Devil's Edge Kinjal is coming. When exactly? Let me see. Tomorrow, maybe? Tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday is upload day. Yeah, I think I'll probably put that up tomorrow. It's already done. I finished editing it a few days ago, and it's ready to go. I have another 2 videos ready to go. I'm just trying to crank out as much content as possible. So I have backup, so to speak, or backlog, I guess, catalog, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And yeah, that's probably going to be the next. So what you're saying is that you'd like to beat up old kids and old people. I mean, if I've got to do some stupid challenge thing where I could get a lot of money, then yeah, why would I not try to finagle it in the most favorable way I can? Sure. Would you fight a medieval war if you had the opportunity? Why the hell would I ever want to do that? It is one of the most horrible experiences you can possibly have. So, no, fuck war. Head shave for $2 million? Of course. Of course, it's just hair. It'll grow back. Well, I should specify. I can also cover it. Because if you ask the same about the beard, then no, ain't happening. Because I have a vested interest in my sex life, and I have a feeling if I was suddenly completely shaven, that wouldn't happen anymore until it grows back. So, nah, no thanks. Nah. Do you watch any non-HEMA related YouTube channels? In fact, almost nothing but. I really only watch HEMA Well, actually, no, that's not true. I do watch HEMA videos for practice and such, but otherwise, swords and whatnot, I really only watch YouTube videos about that when it's research for my own videos, basically. Because, frankly, because this is my work, because this is you know I interact with this every single day. At the end of the day, when I'm done after a long work day, I just want to get away from it, basically. It sounds weird because, yeah, souls are cool and everything, and I'm very happy to do this, for work, but it's still work. So at some point, you just got to get away from it, and otherwise, you just burn out and it just gets, yeah, it'll just limit your enjoyment of it. So I generally watch anything other than that pretty much afterwards. Can I send you a package of noodles? Why noodles? How about some chocolate bars? Ever tried your hand at medieval cooking / recipes? Nope, I have not. Gladius staff, versatile or useless? Sounds like a spear with extra steps. Sounds like a spear with a longer, broader blade. So sure, why not? So whoever believes if you love your work, you won't work a day in your life was a moron. Work is work, duh. Yeah, sure is. And there's always going to be not so enjoyable parts about your work. I mean, am I, super enthusiastically enjoying every minute of video editing? Hell no. Or research and all the other stuff that goes into it? No. No, really no. There's plenty of tedious stuff. What? Wolves or bears? What do you mean? What? What? How? Why? Work should be fulfilling, but yeah, it's not recreation. Yeah, exactly. Odds in combat, maybe in prehistoric wars. Yeah, there's actually direct evidence of signs of use of an odds on or ads. I think it's ads on a skull. So clearly they did that. Do you have a P.O. box? Can I send you a package of noodles and some chocolate? What is it with the noodles specifically? I mean, not that I mind noodles. Nothing wrong with noodles. But yeah. Thanks for the super chat email. I don't actually have a P.O. box. I mean, you can send me a message, through my channel page. And maybe we can figure something out where you can send it. But yeah, if you want, maybe. You missed a super, did I? Oh, I did, yes. Kingdom Come is a good game, but great disappointment. Huh? How so? What did you find disappointing about it? I mean, I haven't really played it. I played it some, but I didn't play it all the way through. So I don't know. Like during the time I played it, I didn't find anything disappointing about it. But I don't know. I just got pulled over for speeding. Well, maybe you shouldn't have sped. Like as long as you stick to no more than 10 above the speed limit, which is so standard that you pretty much have to because otherwise you're holding up traffic. As long as you stick to that, you're generally fine. So you must have gone at least 20 over. I mean, at least 15, I assume, but probably 20 or more. Sword versus bear. What do you think the chances of survival would be? Funnily enough, I just recently, like I think yesterday or today, saw a picture, like, you know, I think Renaissance painting of knights in full suits of armor fighting bears with swords. Or was it daggers? Might even have been daggers. And yeah, so apparently they did that. It was considered dangerous, and you know, I mean, you can imagine one of those manly things that dudes do to prove themselves. That's how, you know, men have a lower life expectancy. So I don't think it's a good idea. Could you do it? I mean, if you're in full armor, yeah, you can probably survive that. But if you didn't, if you were unarmored, I think you would probably get mauled. They would probably maul the shit out of you before you could really do enough damage to kill them or stop them. The bugs and the horrible ending. Okay, I don't know the ending because I haven't played it through. Yeah, bugs were in the beginning were terrible, but they did, I think, iron most of them out, didn't they? At least I had a lot of issues with performance at first. No, or not even performance, glitchiness, like crazy glitches. And then I installed it on an SSD, and after that it was fine. So that was kind of weird. Definitely not optimized as well as it should be. But that's been a while. I don't know where it's at now. I'd fight a bear with a sword. Sure you would, buddy. Sure you would. I'd like to point out that not all species of bear are very big. Some of those could be handled with a sword. I mean, sure, if you're talking about fighting a black bear compared to a brown bear, yeah, sure, that's a better chance. Brown bear, not so much. Oh, hey, Quinn, when did your icon become a beaver? A couple of weeks back, it came up on a live stream. Now I'm starting to not remember anymore how it came up. It was something where things, and then it derailed to where beavers. And then I joked about maybe I should change my channel icon to a where beaver. And then Naot was like, sure, I'll draw it for you. And she did. So here we are. So it has been Canadianized, basically. I ain't got no problem with that. It's better drawn too than what I had made before. I mean, okay, if you count a panda as a bear, I'm not sure if they technically are, then yeah, sure. Those things are so stupid and so lazy that you can you can probably just push it over and bludgeon it with the pommel. I don't know. Anyway. There's a guy on Vancouver Island who killed a mountain lion with a fishing spear. He didn't go looking for the fight. It was attacking his wife. Yeah. You do what you have to, if you must. I mean, if you're attacked by a bear and you just so happen to have a sword with you, in the wilderness for some reason, then yeah, sure. Of course you would use it and you would do your best to survive the encounter. But I'd rather fight a mountain lion than a bear, I think. I mean, you could argue between a cougar and a black bear. You could argue that the cougar is going to be way more aggressive. The black bear you could probably just scare off. But if it's a fight to the death either way, then I don't know. I would probably still rather fight the cougar, I think. Anyway. Where'd you get the Loiku and the thumbnail? Somebody sent it to me actually, quite a few years ago. Probably, I think more than 6 years ago at this point. It's the Helle Lapland, and one of my viewers sent it to me. I would rather fight a capybara. Dude, a cappy would never fight you. They are the most chill things on the planet. They get along with everybody. They have like some kind of, I don't know, chill aura. It's like zero aggression. It's like the ultimate fuzzy hippies or something. And why would you ever want to attack a cappy anyway? They're so chill. They're so peaceful. Right? Anyway. Yeah. That's the problem with mountain lions there. The sneak attack is what you really have to worry about. If they catch you unaware, then you might be screwed. The only thing capybaras attack are pumpkins. Yeah. Where I live, capybaras live in parks, yeah. I've seen them only in parks too, in real life at least. I have the absolute insanity in my head to fight a bear just because I want to. Quarantine is really getting to you, isn't it? Insanity indeed. Let's see if I can find... Yeah, you're right. Fighting a bear with a gun would be scary, never mind a sword. Yeah, it's bad enough. Especially since the really big ones, like a large brown bear, can even tank quite a lot of calibers. You know, even firearms are not a guarantee against those fuckers. Sometimes you find them walking on the street. Cappies? That's neat. I like cappies. When is a spear too long? When is a pike? You have to fight a bear with hurtful words. Against a black bear, that would probably work. They tend to be somewhat cowardly. Like if you just shout at them, insult them, they will probably just leave. I mean, there was a video of someone in Souk who actually had a family of black bears in his backyard, and he recorded, and he just went there, and he was like, "Guys, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave," and he turned around and trotted off. That's how it goes. You're better off being diplomatic with black bears, because they don't really want to mess with you. They don't want you to mess with them either. So my girlfriend's father had one at home. That's pretty cool. Capybara pet. When is a pike too long when you can't handle it anymore? Things are stupid long anyway. Did you ever play or watch the PS1 game Bushido Blade? Yes, I actually made a video about it a while ago. It's the animal symbol of my city. I always found it strange. Huh. That is kind of interesting. The city's animal is the capybara. I mean, why not? It's a very chill city. Have you ever been served... Wait, have there ever been crew serve pikes? Crew serve? Oh, you mean like multiple people on one pike? I faintly remember something like that. What the hell was it? Not in a European Renaissance pike formation, I think. Because there they just hold them with both hands. You know, one person per pike, as far as I know. Let me just double check here. I think I read something about that at some point, but I may be wrong. Right, I think it was something about the Macedonian pike phalanx. I think supposedly the person behind you would hold on to it as well. I don't know if that's true. It sounds a little odd, but maybe. If 2020 was a sword, what would it be? A diseased spadroon. Will you ever do a Kestis review? I mean, I can't exclude that I would never ever do something. I don't have any plans of doing it. But you never know, right? What is the most elegant sword for a dinner? Probably a decorated small sword, I would think. Or some rapiers. Nurgle's plague sword, yes. How do I get into the Discord? I'm a member. Let me know what your username on Discord is, and then I will assign you the role. Unfortunately, I have to do that manually. Through Patreon, it happens automatically. The Patreon Discord bot does that, but I actually have to do it separately. Let me just go in here and check the list of members. I'm just going to check if you're signed on with the same username. It doesn't look like it. So let me know what you... there you are. Devil of Oh, there you are. Okay. Boom, done. You should have full access now. Let me know if it works for you. If you have the link, that is. If you don't, then you have to go to my community tab, and it should show up as a member-only post. The link to the Discord. Wait. Don't mind me. You're clearly already in the members list. I'm just talking out of my ass. Yeah, if you're already in, you're already in. Yeah. Brain, hello. Would you process, please? Do you reckon you'd get a mohawk again like you did during your earlier vids? No. No, I don't think so. My hair is not as thick as it was back then anymore, so it would probably look stupid. Would probably look patchy or whatever. Why did you change your logo? Because it's funny. It came up, and like I mentioned earlier, it came up in a live stream, and suddenly it was about werebeavers, and you know, I joked about changing it to a werebeaver, and then they outdrew it, and here we are. I like it. I actually like it more than the other one. It's more Canadian now. And it's also, it looks more humoristic now. Humoristic, is that even a word? It looks, you know, it looks funnier now. And since I'm not a guy who takes himself overly seriously, or serious at all, really, it suits me. It's a goofier version, basically. Well, welcome on the Discord then. I'm gonna have to check. I see there are a few other people with unassigned roles. Usually that means, you know, whenever on Patreon somebody cancels their pledge, then the bot automatically removes the role. But it can also be other people who became members and then haven't gotten the role assigned yet. I really wish you could automate that. It's a little inconvenient this way, but yeah, what can you do? Have you tried any new sharpening systems that you recommend for swords, like a TS Prof or Edge Pro? I've reviewed a few of those. I think I just keep going back to the Work Sharp. I just prefer it overall. The others work, but the Work Sharp is faster and more efficient, and yeah. I mean, if you have the space, I would recommend just getting a full-on belt grinder. But the Work Sharp with the blade grinder attachment has the advantage that it's much more compact, it's lighter, it's easier to place somewhere, etc. So yeah, I do like that. It's really just a mini belt sander. What else is going on? Would you consider an SKS a good beginner rifle? Well, considering how cheap they are. Well, okay, not quite so cheap anymore. They increased in price quite a bit, which I find a little ridiculous. The SKS used to be absolutely dirt cheap. So that's great, you know, if you just want to get into it and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, it's, yeah, fantastic. So, but I think they're probably still good for a beginner. Nothing really wrong with an SKS. Classic. Of course, the one time I don't have the stream FAQ on, there's a question about whether I've smoked weed. No, I have not smoked it. It is legal in Canada, but no. Like the last few live streams I had, I had this thing on because, it is that recurrent of a question. I don't know why so many people are interested in it, but they are, so that's why I put it in there. Anyway. What's going on with Sab Legal or whatever? Sab Legal and the other person? They're having a massive fight, apparently. What the hell is going on? Can you guys cut it out? I don't know what it's about. I didn't see what led up to it, but that's some really unnecessary, disrespectful bullshit here. Can you stop flinging insults at each other? Just try to be diplomatic. Anyway. Yes, it is legal in Canada. It has been for... Wait, how long? Was it legalized in 2020? I don't remember if it was in early 2020 or in 2019. Not that I care, but yeah. If you're a medieval kingdom in history and looking to hire mercenaries, from what kingdom would you hire them from and why? As far as mercenaries are concerned, I mean, excuse me, moment. It depends on what you want. Like, for example, Genoese crossbowmen were very well known, famous for their abilities with the crossbow. If that's what you're looking for, I would definitely consider those. I kind of want to... Yeah, Swiss mercenaries, Swiss halberdiers, although that's really Renaissance rather than medieval. I kind of want to say Varangian Guard, because they had but the problem was, basically, they aren't really mercenaries anymore, because they dedicated themselves to the Byzantine emperor. So I don't think you could buy them, because they were actually known for their loyalty to the Byzantine Empire. They couldn't be bought off. So I guess you can't actually hire them. Otherwise, yeah. When I went to Canada, I tried to find tobacco, but I only found cannabis stores. It was very difficult to buy cigarettes there. Yeah, that's ironic. If you can find weed but not regular tobacco, that's kind of strange. Anyway, enough about the weed. I'm not interested in that topic. Just to let you know. Ever had honey mead? Yes, and I did enjoy it. It was still a mercenary model, though. Yeah, you can argue that they were still mercenaries. I'm just not sure if they would have been available to anyone else. When would you do a collaboration video? Collaboration with whom? On what? I'm generally not good with collaborations because I kind of struggle with coordinating with other people. I generally much prefer doing my own thing. Just because, I don't know, it's simpler, it's what I'm used to. Not super social, stuff like that. Should make it a were capybara. Well, I'll consider it equivalent exchange. The thing is, though, if when you're kind of drawing something in kind of a cartoon-ish style, can you really distinguish between a beaver and a capybara? I don't know. Big rodents, right? I don't. I mean, cappies do look different, but I don't know. Cappies are not particularly Canadian, though. Right. Where do you like it more in Canada? Nova Scotia or where you lived before? Definitely where I lived before. I miss Vancouver Island, but it can't be helped because houses are completely and utterly 100% unaffordable. Even apartments are ridiculous. So, yeah. That's the deal breaker. The only one, but hell is it a big one. Have you looked into research on psychedelics for treating addiction and depression? Nope, I have not. Here in CR, we have ketamine therapy legal, but you pay for it. I mean, thanks, Tech Addict, by the way. The thing is, some ADHD medication has the same effect. It suppresses appetite. So that can help. Yeah, I have to agree with Scott there. If you are going to post, don't add 8 lines of spam. Yeah, don't spam. Moderators will delete it, and if you relentlessly keep spamming after you've been warned, then you might get banned too. Just don't go crazy. Use common sense. Don't be a dick. All right? You can repeat questions, but don't just spam like several paragraphs of nonsense. You know, just copy paste the same word all over again. When tourists come here, they look at capybaras and they call them giant hamsters. That's kind of offensive. Poor cappies. Well, no, it's not really. Hamsters are fine. It's guinea pigs that are just kind of second-class rodents in my book. Yeah, I'm weird. I know. You versus Lindy Beige in a sword fight. Who wins? How the hell would I know? I've never seen him fight, and I don't know. And the thing is, even if there are videos, like there are videos, plenty of videos of me sparring. But if you look at sparring footage of me from 2017, I'm in much better shape than I'm now. So if you go by that, you can't really go by that. Like, people change sometimes, so, and not always for the better. So who knows? Who the hell knows? We're all weird. That's why I'm here. That's why we came here. Yeah, I figured. It's a lot cheaper to live in the US. Yeah, it comes with a different cost, though. You know, of a political nature that I'm not going to go into. Plus, you pay way more for healthcare. That's the thing. People keep thinking that, oh, you pay so much for healthcare in other countries. Actually, the way it's run in the US, you effectively pay more for medical treatment than you do in Canada and other places. But yeah, that's enough of that. Any chance you're going to do more reviews on zombie tools? Don't have anything planned currently, but maybe at some point if they... I mean, there's still other interesting designs. Perhaps. How to make my girlfriend understand that I need all the swords I'm buying? Well, I'm pretty sure she has things that she's passionate about, that she likes to spend money on. So maybe just try to equate those in a non-confrontational way, by the way. Don't be like, well, how much are you spending on your makeup or on your shoes or on your whatever the hell? Be prudent and diplomatic about it, but just try to make her understand that there's just certain things that you're enthusiastic about, that you enjoy enough to justify spending certain amounts of money on it. But maybe you should also ask yourself if the amount that you're spending on them is really reasonable, objectively, Just saying. How long have you been doing HEMA? Depends on how you count. I joined the Blood and Iron HEMA school in 2015, and then left in 2019 because of the move. But I've been doing... I did HEMA before that by myself since, I don't know, technically since at least 2009, but that was so amateurish and not good practice, so you can barely count that. Will COVID measures ever go away in the next 10 years? In the next 10 years, definitely, I think. How soon? Who knows? Anyway, thanks. Not a banned account. And Daniel Forrest, your future old self sends a time machine back to you from a dystopian future. You mean more dystopian than what we already have? With a warning that the fate of the free world depends on you overthrowing a kingdom. What gear do you bring? Strategy. What kingdom? Like the UK? Like, there aren't that many kingdoms left, but, well... what gear? I mean, whatever I can get. The best equipment I can get. If it's tanks, I'll take that. If it's a bunch of people with AR-15s and, whatever I can get, the best I can get. In short, the best I can afford or whatever. I don't know what the context is. Like, do I have to fund this out of my own pocket? Is somebody else helping me, or what is, I don't know what's going on. So I kind of struggle with giving you a decent answer because there's a lot of variables that I don't know what you had in mind. Thanks, James. Great to see you streaming during lunch here in Arizona. I love your channel. Question: just ordered a dark sword, Alexandria, and zombie tools, Hellion. Thoughts? Generally, I've had some negative experiences with swords from Dark Sword, but the Alexandria, I don't know. It might be better. It's quite a good blade overall, but I don't know for sure. Those zombie tools, Hellion. I forgot what the Hellion looks like. Let me just take a quick pike. The Hellion. Oh yeah, it's basically a Copus. It's nice. A good choice on that. I think you will definitely enjoy that one. Did the Vikings ever dual wield weapons in battle? I covered that in the video. Oh, what the hell was the title again? Let me take a look so I can at least let you know what to search. Damn it. Or was it just in the stream? Did I talk about it in the stream? I'm pretty sure I talked about dual wielding just recently. What the hell was it? What was the video? It wasn't even that long ago, I think. Something Viking or Valhalla or... Okay, I have no idea. So, in short, there are some mentions in the Old Norse sagas about it happening, that somebody fights with a sword and an axe, or two axes, maybe, something like that, two swords. Right, game theory response. Which frickin' video was that? I can't even remember my own content. Fuck damn it. So I guess you guys know better what what videos I made at this point. I've just made too much. Anyway, yeah. So there are some mentions, but there's, the sagas can be a little bit borderline Viking Hollywood equivalent, so it's hard to say. Generally, at least 9 times out of 10, well, probably more like 99 times out of 100, they fought with sword and shield. It may have happened sometimes in specific situations, and it may have happened in duels on the battlefield. Very rare. All right, my time has come. Had a good one. Skull sent greetings to Curitiba, the city of capybaras. All right, thank you. Have a good one, Lorian. Now I want to look it up. Where is it? I probably totally mispronounced it. Huh, looks nice. I repressed the MatPat video. He's too cringe to handle. Harsh. Oh, did you hear that shoulder snap? Nice. Give me a second. I think I heard something. Never mind. False alarm. I heard something that sounded distinctly like knocking on the door, but it wasn't. It's just random apartment sounds. So that did not happen. Yeah, random apartment sounds like the screeching kid over there. Ugh. Anyway. Now, you lived in your new location quite a while. Have you generally been much happier? Oh, you mean like Nova Scotia in general? Well, it's a tough question. Because while we lived in that house, there were a lot of great things about it. It is nice to live in the woods, and it's nice to have all that freedom and be able to do so much stuff. But there was also a lot of stress, like more stress on an everyday basis than I've ever had before in my life. And it was hard to say, like the positive and like the happiness, if you will, went up, but the stress also went up so much that it seems like it canceled each other out. Now, currently, yeah, I'm not stressed out, which is nice. I'm actually quite happy currently, with the exception of the frustrations with the apartment, but, it's not too bad. But I also miss the island, so there's that. Anyway, what do you think of M1 night fights? Ugh, gross. How does it compare to what we would have seen in real armored medieval 1v1 0? Just nothing. I'm pretty sure I made a video about that, didn't I? M1 night fight. It looks terrible. It's just a bunch of bashing and no technique, and no. Does not look anything like it would have, based on the historical manuscripts that we have and historical accounts. Anyway, I've been streaming for, I don't know, what, 2 hours? Something like that. And I think it's probably about time. So I think we'll leave it at that. I'll just quickly answer that question about the Urumi, because I made a video about it. So you can, if you search Urumi on my channel page, you should find it. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for the super chats, some very generous ones, which I highly appreciate. And I'll see you next time. So